Well, welcome Faith Family Church to an instructional video on Planning Center's Check-ins app. We've been using Planning Center over the last couple of years for our worship department, security in the mornings on Sundays, as well as for those of you that have been working with the nursery and things. This is going to be used a lot more now because we need to up our game when it comes to the security of our students and our children. So to do so, we're going to go ahead and begin this instructional video on how to use the Check-ins app. Now, the Check-ins app will be on all of our devices, and we actually have new devices that have come to us that have been donated that are going to allow us to go ahead and use this app. Let's go ahead and get started here. When you click check-ins, depending on the time of day, if it is inside the event time, for example, if it is in between 8:30 and 10:30, the event that starts at 9:30 in the middle of that, which is nursery 9:30, will be listed in the top left-hand corner. If you'll notice up at the top left-hand corner, the event we have currently is Event Test. You'll notice the name of whatever device you're on at the very bottom, whether that be FFC Check-ins 1 or FFC Check-ins 2. But this is the front screen of the Check-ins app. Now, you won't be able to change any of the settings down here in the bottom left-hand corner, but what you can do, or the right-hand corner, sorry, but what you can do is you'll be able to check in students. Now, when we get really good at this and family members learn about the app and they start getting really good at this, they can actually bring their phones and or previous barcodes, and we can actually scan them into our app. Unfortunately, we do not have one of those barcodes to show you today, but what we will do is we'll do this by name. So let's go ahead and check in somebody that we know exists in our database, and that is Jordan Fitzwater. We're going to check him in as a student. You'll notice that right now, at the top left-hand corner, he is part of the Fitzwater household. Now, what is a household? A household is any group of individuals that we lump together either under a family name, under an individual's name, or under a unit name. Now, what we can do with this is we can click on Edit Household if we'd like to add people to his database. So, for example, if we'd like to add his mother, we can click Add New, and we'd type in Jana Fitzwater, and we'd create a new person. Once we created that new person, she would appear here in the top. And of course, we could put in all of her information below. There are two different distinctions inside of check-ins. One is the adult and one is the child. As an adult of a household, you will receive any emails or phone correspondence, such as text messages or phone calls, that are regarding the student. This will be really important in the future. We'll go ahead and finish off this section, which is households, and save this person. Now you'll notice that under the Fitzwater household, everybody will be listed eventually. But this is just Jordan, and we're going to go ahead and check him in if we need to edit any of his information. For example, if he is going to be just a one-time guest, we will need to click Edit on the right-hand side. And we can say that he is a guest. He's not a regular. We can create him to be a regular, and we'll have to put in a few other things like information. Or we can notate him as a volunteer. We're going to say little Jordan Fitzwater, kiddo, is a regular check-in. I'm not going to click Prepare to check in. Once I click Check in one person, you'll notice that it is checking me in, and it will print a label for us. And these label printers will be next to the iPads, next to the devices that we have. And they will print a sticker label for the child to wear and the parents to have. Now, these sticker labels are super, super important. These sticker labels notate the student, has a number at the bottom, and shows the parent tied to that student. The parents will need to bring back that ticket to get the release of the child. This is going to increase our security and make sure that we have no security risks to the public when we have custody of their child while they are in services, Bible studies, or anything of the like. So let's go ahead and check out one other thing. I'm going to go ahead and check in Jordan Fitzwater. Actually, we're going to check in John Smith. Now, John Smith is not in our database. Let's say we have a new kid we've never seen before. And it says, John Smith is nowhere to be found. What do we do? Well, if we're certain that check-ins missed it and we maybe spelled the thing wrong, we can click start over and try to spell it right, or we can click add a new person. Now, when we add a new person, we have a few different options here. If we know that this is a person that is regularly here at Faith Family Church, we're going to go ahead and click add to existing household if their household exists. If their household doesn't exist, we're going to click add to new household. To add to new household, this is going to allow us to create a household. For example, if we wanted to create the household Busker, we would create a household. We would put Tracy's name at the top. We could add Terry as a new individual, and then we could add their students at the bottom as children. We could also add to an existing household if the household already existed. For this one, let's assume that John is just a one-time guest. This is their first time and they're visiting. We're going to create temporary one-time guest pass, and this is going to put John's name on it. Any medical notes, for example, are they allergic to any foods? Are they allergic to any medications? This would be a good thing to put on there. This will also print on their badge. This is going to be good for us, especially as we give snacks and any other types of food when we're doing things like VBS, Awanas, and things of the sort. You'll want to put their emergency contact, which is probably mom or dad that's dropping them off, and the phone number. And then once you do that, let's go ahead and allow John to be taken out by Jane Smith, his mom. We're going to put the phone number as 123-456-7899. And we're going to click next. Now you'll see that John Smith is being checked in at the 3 p.m. nursery slot as a guest. Prepare to check in. Once he's there, we can also go back in and edit any of that information we input. Go back to prepare to check in, and we'll just click check in one person. Once we've checked in, it will print his label, and we'll want to put that on him and give his label to his emergency contact. Now remember that that ticket must be brought back to receive the student at the end of the day. We're intending to start this in the next few weeks, and we'll run through this with you guys when you are there for your first time to run a station. So don't freak out. It's not a big deal. It's actually a lot easier than it seems. We'll have a table set up outside the nursery and the children's worship area. That way that we can have students checked in at all times. This will be a great tool to use for Awanas in the future and as well for VBS. I hope that this has been informative and helpful. You guys have a phenomenal day.